Do you remember how old you were when you first realized that the magicians on the TV, or maybe even the magicians at your birthday parties and what have you, that the tricks were fake? Especially the ones on TV, because some of their tricks were very elaborate, and it seemed so convincing. Do you remember when you realized, hold on, this is actually a complete joke? None of this is real at all. Some of you might say, oh, well, JLB, I never believed it. Even when I was 5, I knew it was fake. Okay, fair enough. For a lot of us, we couldn't explain how they could pull off these tricks until some guy came along and he broke the Magician's Code. Do you guys remember this? I was about 10 when this TV show was big, at least in Australia. I think we got it not long on delay after America. This was back in the days when if a show was on TV in America, we would have to wait days, weeks, months even to get the show in Australia. But I think this one was about 1997 for us, America, Australia, whatever. It was called Breaking the Magician's Code. And I'm not going to play this clip now because I don't want to get any copyright strikes or whatever, but a lot of you remember this TV show. A lot of you remember this one. And the reason I'm asking you about all of this is because I recently wrote a rather detailed article on johnthebond.com, which I'll link to in the show notes below, where I went through a different kind of magician and how they deceive their audience. And so just as with the Magician's Code, once you learn how they do the bullet in the teeth trick, which I think is that one you could probably work out for yourself. Even as a kid, you could be like, oh yeah, they've just got the bullet in their mouth, and that one's not too hard. But some of the tricks they used to do on these TV magic shows actually were like, no, but how did they do that one? That's a good one. How'd they do it? Well, it's the same. Once you know how they do it, it's not the spell is over. You know what I mean? I think it's the same with some of these magicians who wear white coats and claim to know all of these amazing things. They even have discovered, this is what they claim, guys, get this. There's a bunch of magicians who claim that they have discovered literally hundreds of different creatures, gigantic creatures. In many of these cases, they're gigantic things. Much bigger than giraffes or elephants or anything like that. And these creatures used to walk on the earth, and then they all got wiped out. And 100 million years later, the magicians today claim that they have discovered them and in some ways brought them back to life. Now, I'm being a little bit liberal with my use of analogy here, but I think some of you can get where I'm going with this. So if you're interested in seeing me break the Magician's Code, I go to the scientific paper where these people claim that they discovered this creature, and I explain how if we just learn the special words and terms that they're using, the gobbledygook as I call it, you can break their code into such a way that's very obvious what they've done. Now, some of you will say, oh, but JLB already know that dinosaurs are a hoax. What's the big deal? You also know that magic is an act. Sometimes seeing how the act was performed, sometimes it's interesting in and of itself. Sometimes also it can be useful to help realize how other tricks are played as well. So go and check that link out if you are interested. Now, if you're not a member of johnthebond.com, don't worry. I've got some information waiting for you guys as well. This is an Illuminati card game analysis that I wrote a few years ago, and I've been meaning to update it for a long time. Today, I finally sat down at the cafe and spent a couple of hours updating it because a lot of the links were broken, the videos that were embedded on YouTube were no longer available, and so on and so forth. And what I also did was I made pages 4 and 5. This is a several part series. I made pages 4 and 5, which used to be just for the members of johnthebond.com, now available to everyone. So if you're interested in the Illuminati card game, who wrote it, what was their intention, what did they say their intention was, what was their real intention, what can we learn from the cards, how many of these cards made accurate predictions, so on and so forth. If you're interested in that, check the second link in the info box below, because it will take you to this page, which is available publicly right now at johnthebond.com. So breaking the Dino Code, that's just for members because they're the ones who make all of this possible. I think that's fair. I might send this out to the mailing list in the future or something, but for now, this is just for members. But this, which used to be just for members, it's available to everybody. So if you're interested in either of these things, go and check the links in the info box below and let me know. Did you guys have this TV show when you were kids? I mean, I'm in my mid-30s, so I was a kid when this came out. Maybe if you're in your 40s, maybe you're an adult by the time this came out. But do you remember this show? Did you watch it? Does it bring back any warm, gooey feelings about your childhood? Let me know in the comment section below, and have yourself a lovely day.
With regard to nobody died, nobody got hurt in these wars.
How dare you!